This is Inside Indiana Business Radio for the afternoon of Monday, March 4th, 2024. I'm Kate Sharon. Fort Wayne's Arts United, which provides a variety of services for arts organizations throughout Northeast Indiana, is investing $40 million to expand and modernize the Arts United Center in the city's downtown. President and CEO Dan Ross says the facility has not seen any major renovations since it opened in 1973, and the organization is still looking to raise the final funds needed to complete the project.
We're essentially running on an infrastructure which was built in the Apollo era and trying to run modern theatrical technology in the building. It's just a challenge. We want to make sure that all levels of experience in this facility are truly accessible. Because what happens in this building, it's very participatory.
The primary focus, Ross said, will be to make the facility fully accessible, bringing it in line with the Americans with Disabilities Act. Plans call for an addition that will create a new lobby with an elevator to provide greater access to all levels and areas of the building, including the second-floor rehearsal halls. Indiana Secretary of Commerce David Rosenberg is leading an economic development trip to South Korea this week, the Indiana Economic Development Corporation announced Monday. Rosenberg and representatives of the IEDC departed Indianapolis on Sunday and are expected to return on Friday, marking the fourth state-led trip to South Korea in the last 5 years. The IEDC opened a 2-person business development office in Seoul, South Korea in July 2023. The agency said the delegation will work to strengthen growing ties between Indiana and South Korea and boost investment in automotive manufacturing, electric vehicles, energy generation and storage, and technology. Security products company Allegion plc has acquired Montajes Electrónicos Dorcas S.L., a privately held company based in Siete Aguas, Spain, the company announced Monday. Allegion is headquartered in Ireland, but its Americas division is based in Carmel. The company makes mechanical and electrical locks, electronic safety products, and other products under brand names including Schlage, Steelcraft, and Von Duprin, among others. Financial terms of the deal were not disclosed. Dorcas will operate as part of the Allegion International segment, which is led by Carmel-based Senior Vice President Tim Eckersley. Dorcas CEO Pablo Abanez is joining Allegion as Managing Director of the company's Dorcas business. From the #1 source for Indiana business news, this is Inside Indiana Business Radio.
Southwest Indiana, your bold future starts here. IBJ Media, Inside Indiana Business, and the IEDC invite you to the 3rd annual Engage Southwest Indiana, April 12th in Evansville, presented by CareSource, Indiana University, and Old National Bank. Connect with fellow business and community leaders, discover programs aligned to your region's unique needs, and walk away with bold new thinking for Southwest Indiana's future growth. RSVP now at ibj.com/engage.
Lawmakers have just days to finalize legislation in key areas like health and education, from literacy and anti-Semitism to ambulances and a Medicaid shortfall, and some continued attempts to increase legislative oversight of the executive branch are on track for passage, but others appear dead. IIB's Alex Brown has more.
On the education front, lawmakers pushed a major literacy overhaul bill across the finish line last week. Senate Bill 1, which drew pushback over a provision that's likely to require thousands more reading-deficient third graders to be held back a year in school, is the standout measure of the 2024 session. That's according to Senate President Pro Tem Rod Bray. Several smaller healthcare issues remain outstanding, including legislation on nurse training, healthcare mergers, and reimbursements for ambulances. Most have filed motions to concur or saw minor changes in their non-originating chamber and will likely cross the finish line. The biggest looming issue in the healthcare sector is legislative action on the $1 billion Medicaid shortfall and additional reporting requirements for the overseeing agency, the Family and Social Services Administration. Legislation offering limited oversight measures over the state's opaque economic development agency is likely dead this session, legislative leaders say, but they're moving forward with other proposals increasing legislative branch control over the governor and executive branch agencies. Alex Brown, Inside Indiana Business Radio.
Speedway has a new economic development director in Carmen Lething, the town announced Friday. In her new role, the town said Lething will seek to lead and grow the town's development and redevelopment initiatives and work with a roster of corporate partners. The town said in the release that throughout her career, Lething has developed and leveraged grant funding to grow the total investment in Indiana communities. A Los Angeles-based real estate investment company has acquired a 5-building student housing complex near Purdue University, Champion Real Estate Company paid an undisclosed amount for Salisbury Campus Apartments, which encompasses 85 units and 290 beds. According to a news release, Champion said in its news release that it plans to renovate the property once the master lease with Purdue University expires in 2025. Upgrades will include vinyl plank flooring, quartz countertops, and stainless steel appliances, and each bedroom will have a television and soundbar. While Indiana continues to battle the digital divide, which is the gap between those who have and don't have broadband access, there are significant signs of progress. State and federal funds totaling nearly $1.5 billion are being deployed to help connect the estimated 150,000 unserved or underserved Hoosier addresses. Private sector companies are also getting engaged, including AT&T, which is in the midst of fiber projects in 12 Hoosier communities and regions, and it's all part of what some are calling a once-in-a-generation opportunity. According to the Indiana Broadband Office, there were around 300,000 underserved or unserved addresses in Indiana 3 years ago. Today, that number is close to 150,000. TPM founder Tom Miller is this week's guest on the Business and Beyond podcast with Gary Dick, presented by PNC, a weekly conversation with high-profile Hoosiers in business, sports, entertainment, and beyond. Available now from your favorite podcast provider. I'm Kate Sharon for Inside Indiana Business, Radio on Demand.